Hello and welcome, Vegan Freakies, to yet another week of our Vegan Freaky podcast. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Bob. And we're the podcast that moves in mysterious ways. According to someone in our forums, our podcast sniffs you like a dog and licks you like a cow. Thanks to the Coco Loco for that one.
Yeah. And we've decided that cows are just the most awesome animals.
Yeah, cows rock, man.
So anyway, as usual, we'll start off our show with some shout-outs. And then we'll move on to interesting conversation that we had with some students.
Absolutely. Go to the third world, you think you know everything.
And then we're going to talk about an issue that we mentioned on our blog this week about what do you say when people apologize for eating meat in front of you.
You say murder. What else do you say? And then we'll move into our musical interlude, which comes from a suggestion from our forums from Mr. Spock's Sex Farm is actually the username.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about our forums then after that, and we'll talk about some B12 information.
Yeah, B12 issues, very important. Mm-hmm. And then I think we'll close the show with a little bit of stuff on animal rights and human rights and the linkages between the two of them. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. And Jenna has a note here for her to turn the washer on when we're done. Yeah,
because I had to stop it or else it's too loud.
Yeah, we have one of those like ultra hippie, high efficiency washers.
Yeah, and our floor's wooden, so whenever it runs, the whole house shakes.
It's really horrible. It's the entire house. It's really bad. But anyway.
Right. So to the shout-outs. We're going to start off with Vegan Essentials because they picked up our book this week, and they've been really cool to us so far. So thank you, Vegan Essentials. And don't forget, you can also pick up our book. Some shameless self-promotion here. You can still also pick up our book at Food Fight, Food Fight Online, Food Fight Grocery, and Cosmo's Vegan Shop.
Yeah, Food Fight sent me a funny story, though. Chad said there was some crazy guy who came into the store and picked up the book and said, "Bob Torres? I didn't know he was a vegan."
I miss crazy people.
I do, too. We don't have crazy people here.
No, they're just crazy bad people.
Yeah, we've got crazy people, but they're white supremacist crazy.
Yeah. So
and like militia crazy. We don't have just like the absolute fucking nuts crazy.
Yeah, the kind of people that go around town in tutus and shout things randomly.
Yeah, when we moved up here, I got to tell you a very quick aside. We went to Toronto for a couple days. And I went there, I was like, my God, thank you. There are crazy people here. And we're walking down the street in Toronto. And a guy stops me, he's wearing a suit. And he said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know what time it is?" And I said, "Yeah, it's 11:18. And it was at night. He said, "Thank you very much." And we're walking across the street. All of a sudden, all I hear is, "Fuck! Fuck, motherfucker, fuck!" And apparently 11:18, 11:19 had to be the time every night that this guy screamed that. So, yeah, the point is, I miss crazy people. But back to the shout-outs.
Right. Next shout-out goes to Jay Hollen, who's actually a vegan musician and who found our site recently. So hi to him. And
he's got a CD out that's really worth checking out. And we'll link his site here on the blog. I mean, on the podcast site. You should go check it out. He has some samples there you can listen to, and you can go buy his CD. And he's got some lyrics there that are actually very vegan. So maybe one day he'll let us play one of his songs on the air.
Yeah. Excellent. And I'd also like to say hi to our international listeners and readers. And in our book, we have some resources at the end in an appendix, and we also have some on our webpage. And as we're doing our book, most of our resources are centered around the U.S. because, well, that's where we're from.
We're USians.
Yes, exactly. But I've added some new sites, and I'm adding constantly. So if people have international sites, and they can be places to buy things, or they can be places to find out information about being vegan, or about animal rights, that kind of thing, send them off to us. We have our email posted all over the place. So
yeah, and when we wrote the book, we didn't focus on the U.S. because we love American imperialism. We focus on the U.S. because that's what we know. We don't really know enough about veganism elsewhere in the world to really do it very convincingly. So if you do have ideas, please send them along to us because we're happy to include the rest of the world. In fact, we would like to live in the rest of the world.
We would. Canada is close. It's awesome.
Will you have us, Canada?
Please.
Please welcome us.
Yeah. We'll be traveling there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we will.
We're going to Toronto again.
We're going to the food fair in Toronto, run by the Vegetarian Society.
Yes, very cool group.
Well, no, they're not society. They're the Toronto Vegetarian Association.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you should go.
Yes. If you're anywhere near Toronto, you have to go.
Yeah. And come see us, too.
Yeah.
And buy our books and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, enough shamelessness.
We'd also like to say hi to Veggie Geek, who wrote a nice review, or actually part one of a review on her blog.
Yeah, very nice review. And one of the things she brought up in her review is that our book is good for you even if you've been a vegan for a long time.
Yeah, so we thought that was good because we had sort of a hard time targeting the book because we wanted to do it towards people who are turning vegan and but maybe reminding people why they're vegan. So
I also want to do one more shout out that's not even on our little list here, but to the Let's Get Baked podcast.
Oh yeah,
we listened to that last week. Excuse me. We listened to their podcast last week. It was great. It's really funny, and they have these great little asides on the show, and it's just like they have a bunch of people over and cook stuff and talk.
Yeah, so we listened to the episode where they were making veggie corn dogs.
Oh yeah,
and poutine. Teener.
Yeah. So we'll put a link there for them too. You should go listen to their podcast. It's really quite good and quite funny, and it's an hour long. And it's good. We had the chance to drive about 2.5 hours away, and so we had a chance to listen to some of these other longer podcasts, and it was cool.
Yeah, and on that drive, we got to finally meet Isa and her soy toy, Justin. And so we, of course, like to say hi to them again because it was awesome meeting them. If you think they're cool on the internet, they're just as cool in person. So
no, they're cooler in person.
Okay, they're cooler in person.
Definitely. But we met in this tiny little town in the Adirondacks in the middle of nowhere that actually had vegan food.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, thanks. So. Yeah, that was a recommendation from another blogger out there that we know.
Yeah,
from Janine.
From Janine. So we'll put her website up.
Absolutely.
As well. So thank you so much, Janine.
Yeah, man, excellent. Okay, so enough about the shoutouts. Let's move into some substance here, because our show's going to be all shoutouts before long. I mean, we're already 6 minutes and 35 seconds in, and we're not done shouting.
We just got a lot of cool people to say hi to.
There are lots of cool peeps out there. I know. A lot of cool people out there, but we need to move into some substance, man.
Okay, substance.
Yeah, substance. So, as you probably know, we're both professors, and school has recently started for us. And, well, I got to tell you, I don't want to be in school anymore.
Me either. It's just that transition from summer to back at work, just not good.
Yeah, I know you all feel bad for us.
Yeah, right.
But I saw a student who recently returned from Africa. And he said to me, man, listen, I've got such an appreciation, and he knows I'm a vegan, I've got such an appreciation for what it means to eat meat now. And I'm thinking, cool, the guy has finally come around and all this other stuff. No. When I was in Kenya, I killed a pig. And so when he told me he killed a pig, the first thing I said to him was, and he was telling me like he was really into it. So I said, did you get an erection? Because he seemed so excited by it. I was like, he actually seemed to find some kind of joy in it. And but what he was using this for was to say, look, I killed a pig. Now I know what it's like to kill an animal. Therefore, I don't feel bad about eating meat. And I said to him, you might know what it's like to kill an animal, but you don't factory farm that animal. You don't confine it. You don't subject it to, years and years or months and months of torture. And it just kind of got me, it really bothered me because of this assumption like, well, I killed an animal in Africa, therefore it's okay for me to eat meat now because, well, I have my own direct hand in it.
Yeah, I thought that was a little disturbing because of the way, I wasn't there for the conversation, but just the way you describe it, it's just, he actually really liked killing an animal, and that, to me, seems a little disturbing, like, these the kind of people who can kill an animal and not feel remorse. The slightest remorse at taking another life. It just seems to me to be a little strange. But then again, I'm a vegan, so whatever.
Yeah, you're a vegan. You're a complete fucking weirdo. Yeah.
So.
But I just found it odd that was the kind of justification. Well, now I can kill things, therefore I can eat them.
Yeah, but see, I would think the opposite would happen. Like, once you actually get to know an animal, like if you see it running around, you deal with it on a daily basis, in his case, before he killed it, you would think that would turn you the opposite way, that you wouldn't want to kill an animal.
Yeah, he did tell me, though, that the screaming of the pig when they were killing it was really horrible. And it would be.
Yeah.
I'd scream if you killed me.
Yeah.
I'd really fucking scream. But it was weird to me. And I wonder, this kind of gets into the next thing I want to talk about. It's like, I always wonder why people, for example, will come and tell me either about the fabulous meat dinner they just had or the pig they just killed. That's one end of the spectrum. But the other end is like, what do you say when people apologize for eating meat in front of you? Yeah,
I was telling the story on our blog about how earlier this summer we were both at his picnic, and I'm talking to a friend, and he starts unwrapping this package of sausages, which is really kind of nasty, actually.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I didn't really know what to say. I'm like, "It's okay."
You should be.
I'm like, "What you should be" is of course what I wanted to say, and I wrote on our blog a whole list of things that I wanted to say, murderers. But it's like, I don't know. Does anybody have anything good to say? You have to let us know if you do, because I was thinking what I need is a really nice witty retort that's not like condescending, that doesn't put me into the evangelical category, but
right.
That shows them that it kind of bothers me, but you can eat. I usually don't say, no, you shouldn't be eating that, even though you really want to. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. We need some witty retorts though, because when people apologize to me, I almost feel a little bad for them because I don't want them to feel like I'm putting them on the spot just by existing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I appreciate them thinking about me and what I'm going through, but it doesn't certainly. They're like, well. Actually, recently somebody else apologized for me because he wanted to cook chicken at a barbecue, and he asked if that would bother me, and of course it does. But I said no, it's fine, because he said, well, I have to cook what I know. I'm like, well, fine, I'll bring something from myself. Just you don't have to apologize. I don't know. It's strange.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just easier to avoid non-vegan people.
Well, that's what I ended up doing. We actually instead had some vegan friends of ours over for dinner. So
yeah,
but and we made grilled tofu.
We made grilled tofu. We did grill. We grilled the tofu, man. I was out there being all manly and shit, grilling tofu yesterday. Yeah, you should have seen me. People were driving by, probably thought it was meat. They're like, look at that guy grilling meat. If they knew it was tofu where we live, I would have been laughed out of town.
Yep.
But who cares?
But anyway, so what I thought actually was funny about the guy apologizing for me to eat at the picnic we were at earlier is this is right after us bringing some fantabulous vegan potato salad that everybody else just scarfed up.
It was gone.
We barely had anything to eat. So this is after all of that, and you can see you can eat well as a vegan.
That's why you should bring really shitty vegan food to places you go, because, well, not shitty, but something that you like, but you think no one else will. So no one else touches it, so you have something to eat when you go.
But then you have to eat the crappy food.
But I said something you like, but no one else does.
Okay.
I don't know, tofu.
So you need like a decoy dish, maybe.
Oh.
You can eat a stash for yourself and then a decoy dish.
That's a good idea.
But see, no, you want to bring good vegan food because you want to show people. That's a brilliant opportunity to show people that we actually do eat well.
I know.
But anyway.
But you got to eat when you're out places. Or you got to eat before you go.
Yeah, that's another thing that we do sometimes.
I'm the king of the pre-picnic, pre-dinner PB&J, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to go. It fills you up, but not too much, so.
I'm all about the PB and, well, actually, lately I've been trying almond butter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cashew butter we had today for lunch.
Yeah, man.
It's good.
Okay. So, if you have any good ideas about what to say when people apologize to you for eating sausages, intestines, meat, whatever else they end up eating, please let us know. We'd love to hear it. And maybe we could pass a few along to the rest of the vegans out there. Because it always perplexes me when this comes up.
Yeah, me too. So.
Yeah, so why don't we move into our music? Speaking of politics of meat.
Indeed. This is thanks to Mr. Spock's Sex Farm.
Yes, he's one of the users on our forum, which is at... Well, you'll see the link to it.
Right. And it's a group called Consolidated. We actually haven't heard of before.
No, he recommended it, so I checked them out, got some of their music. And The Sexual Politics of Meat is also the title of a book by Carol J. Adams.
Yeah. And actually, did we read the Pornography of Meat is the one?
Yeah.
But they're both really good. And because they talk about the linkages between the oppression of women and the oppression of animals, and which may offend some people, but she really lays it out, and she has a lot of interesting pictures and visuals to show the connections. So
absolutely. So we want to thank Mr. Spock's Sex Farm for turning us on to Consolidated. And I don't know, I can't really find any information about whether this is Carol Adams or not, but I'm guessing it's Carol Adams who's maybe reading or reading part of her book or talking. And what we're going to do is just roll the song, listen and enjoy.
Representation of patriarchal values. Meat eating is the reinscription of male power at every meal. The patriarchal gaze sees not the fragmented flesh of dead animals, but appetizing food. Vegetarian activities counter patriarchal consumption and challenge the consumption of death. Feminist vegetarian activity declares that an alternative worldview exists, one which celebrates life rather than consuming death, one which does not rely on resurrected animals but empowered people. The presence of meat proclaims the disempowering of women. It takes the notion of objectification one step further. Not only have we objectified animals, but in objectifying them, we take what we want from them and leave the rest out. We leave their death out and we take their bodies. We leave the images of their death out, but take the meaning of meat and apply it to women.
Okay, so that's The Sexual Politics of Meat by Consolidated. That's off of their More Music Please album, The Best of 1988 to 1993.
Yeah, so Carol Adams, you have a quote there.
Yeah, I like when she says that vegetarianism challenges the patriarchy inscribed in every meal. I mean, she sees meat as really a male thing.
Definitely. I mean, the whole dominating and the killing of it is very representational of the patriarchal society.
Yeah, man. It's all about dominating.
Exactly.
So you got to check out Carol Adams' books, actually. The Pornography of Meat's are really good one because it has a lot of pictures in it, because I like books with pictures.
They're interesting pictures. I mean, she goes around and finds all these, like, for example, things from signs in restaurants of, basically animals wanting to be eaten, which she connects, to the images of women wanting to be, used, basically.
In pornography.
And they also feminize a lot of the animals, like dress them up in dresses and makeup, and it's very strange.
It is kind of freaky.
So.
And not in a good way.
No.
I mean, it's like funky. Freaky can be like funky.
Yeah, good funky and bad funky.
There's good funky and bad funky. Good funky is like, like Prince. Early Prince is good funky.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Bad funky is like rotten cheese.
Or someone's really stinky feet.
Yeah.
That's bad funky.
Exactly.
So there's good freaky and bad freaky?
Mm-hmm.
And good funky and bad funky.
Indeed.
Okay. But
speaking of good funky.
Yeah, our forums are good funky. Yeah.
They are. We have some really awesome people in our forums, and we just like to say hi to you all, because everybody's been so cool and weird in a good way and nice, and it's just been great. Yeah,
I've really enjoyed participating on our forums. I've been a little busy this week, and so I haven't been keeping up until today as much, but we've just had some really funny and crazy threads on there. I mean, one of them was about consumption of garlic and vaginal lubrication.
Yeah.
Very odd.
It's very odd.
And another thread, Rococo Loco, who I think posts to the forum even more than I do, posted this picture of Condoleezza Rice as a Dalek. Now, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll find that very interesting. And all I could help doing was going, exterminate, exterminate. That's all I could do when I saw it. I was just running around doing it. And I feel so bad for you to have to put up with me all the time doing this shit.
I'm used to it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but my students, I don't know if they're used to it yet.
No, they take a while to get used to it.
I do freak them out. But anyway, so our forums are a lot of fun. We talk about all kinds of things there. And we talk about serious things, too.
Yes.
We don't always just talk about crazy, whacked out shit, but...
No, we've got funny threads, and then we got the serious threads. So
yes, we can be very serious when we need to be.
we can be.
We can be very buttoned down.
Yes.
Or not. But yeah, come to our forums because they're fun. And if you like the podcast, you'll like our forums.
Definitely.
So it's nice to see some of you there, and we'd like to see more of you there. And come in and just stop in and say hi, see how it's going.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to segue from forums into B12, but we're going to do it.
I guess this is us being serious for a second.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of seriousness.
Sort of. Anyway, we were recently informed that perhaps our B12 section in our book wasn't serious enough.
Yes. I think the term was irresponsible.
Yes, from Dr. Greger.
Yeah.
Who actually liked our book, which made me very happy because Dr. Greger's a cool guy. He's, if you don't know who he is, he has a DVD out, he has some books out, Carbophobia, and he's an awesome guy because he not only promotes vegan nutrition, but he's also into animal rights.
Absolutely. So I respect Dr. Greger greatly, and he said maybe we were a little too lax in the B12 section.
Yeah, because I think I said something like...
yeah, you wrote that section.
I wrote that section. Yeah. Something like you should take it once in a while. Because you can find B12 in soy milk. They use it in anything that has, they add vitamins too. But he said that he's seen some people who've really messed themselves up by not taking B12 for long periods of time. So basically, what you need to do is take it at the very, very least once a week.
Yeah, that's what I've heard him say, actually.
Yeah.
Pick a B12 day and do it.
Yeah. So that's the very least, and maybe twice a week just to be sure.
I just go out in the yard and eat dirt.
Yeah, because you can get that's where B12 comes from, microorganisms.
Yeah, but come on, not really.
Not really.
So take a B12 supplement.
Exactly.
A vegan one.
A vegan one.
I've also heard this objection that all B12 is animal derived, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, because it's from microorganisms, and you get yeast from bread. That's microorganisms. You don't. It's vegan.
Yep.
So anyway,
I heard once that someone thought vegans didn't eat yeast.
Yeah, I think I've heard people question that too, but
I don't. Yeast isn't an animal, is it?
No, it's like a mushroom.
Well, I don't know.
Not like a mushroom, but it's same category.
I can't remember what kingdom they were in.
It's been a long time since I had biology.
Yeah, I had bio like decades ago.
In fact, I majored in plant science. You would think I'd remember, but I sort of blocked that part out in my brain for new stuff.
But it would have changed even so. I mean,
True.
It may have changed. Okay. Anyway,
B12, take it. If you can't find, look out. If you're taking supplements, look out for ones that have gelatin capsules. Actually, what we like to do is just buy them online. Go to a place like Cosmos or Vegan Essentials that have supplements and just buy them there because it's easier. You don't have to read labels.
You don't have to think too much about it.
No, and they have a lot of good ones that are good for vegans. So they're actually labeled like vegan multivitamin supplement kind of thing. Yeah,
I took the Solgar multis and they made me feel really weird.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know. Okay, well, so take your B12. Don't forget. We don't want you developing nervous system problems and things like that.
No, not good.
No, we need you to be a healthy vegan.
Yeah.
Or vegans. I think there's more than one person listening.
I would hope so. I think so. Anyway, now on to another serious topic of ours.
Oh, this is getting a little too heavy, yo.
Well, just briefly anyway.
A little too heavy. Well, go ahead.
Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about... This is kind of actually related to Carol Adams because we're talking about the linkages between animal rights and human rights.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this lately. I've been wondering, how can we really... I think one of the things that the animal rights movement is missing is this realization that we need to extend compassion into thinking about the way in which we treat humans as well as the way we treat animals.
Yeah, I mean, one of the common ways to go with that is... Since you start thinking, as a vegan, you start thinking about all the products that you consume and where they come from, because you realize that, the gelatin comes from, animal hooves that are boiled up and all that kind of nasty stuff. So you start realizing what goes into the production of the things that you use. So that automatically makes you start thinking about, what do the humans have to do to, A, produce the things that I that I use, that I eat.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the links we made in the books is between meat and slaughterhouse workers.
Absolutely, and that all has to be thought about together. But I mean, I'm kind of guilty of ignoring this sometimes, because I think about one of my favorite pairs of shoes. I have these Earth shoes that are vegan that I love, but they're made in China.
Yeah, it's a really tough issue, I think, for vegans to think about the sweatshop thing, because on the one hand, you want to find things that are vegan, first off, I think. And you can find, for example, a lot of things that are vegan at Payless, but they're going to might be made in a sweatshop. So, and they're going to be cheap, and not everybody can afford really expensive shoes.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, though, is that a lot of people really can't afford anything else. So, I mean, you can be vegan and be working class, and I think that's something that's really, that it's cool. If that's the only place you can get vegan stuff, well, then I kind of understand it. But if you have options, it is perhaps best to explore options that are more worker-friendly and fair trade-friendly. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, because they are out there, and you can find a lot on the internet. And it does raise your consciousness about how your things are produced. So you start thinking about, oh, well, is this, how much are the workers getting paid to produce this? And if you're able to, then you can buy things that aren't exploiting humans as well.
Yeah, I think that's a key point I need to bear in mind a little more often too. It's so easy to kind of go through life every day just buying stuff and getting what you need and doing what you do without thinking about how it's impacting somebody halfway around the world. But I think what's important to remember is that the riches that we enjoy are built on the backs of people that perhaps don't enjoy such riches.
Exactly. I mean, we both teach this in our classes, because I teach on Latin America, and the United States, the way it is today, is thanks to the poor people in Latin America, really.
Kind of, yeah.
So.
Well, then you've got someone like Pat Robertson also.
Oh yeah, that came up on our forums. Yeah, who wants to assassinate the leader, the popularly elected leader of another country?
But he called him a dictator.
Yeah, right. That's
Well,
great. Anyway,
but
getting
then,
off topic here. But
how many commandments did he violate when he did that? I mean,
really?
Here's a man who professes to be of God, and he breaks how many commandments in saying someone should be taken out, assassinated, whatever, and then the next day he lies. And,
yeah, he said he didn't say assassinate. When people have him on tape saying he wanted to say assassinate.
Okay, well, that's kind of an aside.
Right. But, I mean, that's all related to human rights. Being a vegan makes you think about what other humans go through. And you have compassion not just for animals, but for humans as well, of course.
I think veganism opens you up a little bit to what you're, like you said, to what you're consuming, to what you see, to what's out there. And that's a really powerful insight.
Yeah, I mean, I think I wrote on the forums today something about, it's the same process. An animal becomes a unit. And so it makes it easier to kill. And the same thing happens in war. Iraqis become units. And even soldiers, I mean, that's what they're designed to do. They're units that are supposed to do this, and then they get killed. Well, it's the same kind of system that makes people want to kill other people and not have compassion.
This is why we almost radically question authority.
Yes. Exactly.
Hey, if you're in the Northeast U.S., in a couple weeks, there's a great conference in Vermont called Renewing the Anarchist Tradition, where we'll be talking at that conference.
Yeah, about this issue, really.
Yeah, actually about this very issue, connecting together animal rights, human rights, and anarchist theory. So if you're in Vermont, it's a kick-ass conference. You should come.
Yeah. Vermont
probably is the whitest state in the country, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty state, and they've got a lot of good, alternative things, vegan things, but very white.
Vermont's great, though. I'd live there in a minute.
Definitely.
I better say that before the Vermonters get angry at me.
Yes, we know a lot of Vermonters.
Yeah. So. Some of my best friends are Vermonters.
Yeah. No, we love Vermont. In fact, I think every time we ask ourselves, if there's anywhere we could live in the country, in the U.S., where we live, and it'd be Vermont. So.
Probably Vermont. Yeah. Vermont, I don't know, Vermonters don't like outsiders either, though. They call us flatlanders and shit like that. So.
Yeah.
And that's actually the nicest term. You should hear what they call people from Massachusetts. So let's move on. Right. So I think we're done. I don't know. We're so off topic.
I know. I have to go turn the washer back on. That's the note at the end of my show.
Go turn on our hippie washer, man.
Okay.
Come on. Go turn on our green washer. So... But anyway, we'll be back again next week. If you have any good ideas for the show or something you'd like us to do differently, you can tell us, and if we like it, we'll do it, and if we don't like it, we'll tell you to go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. We wouldn't tell you to go to hell.
Well, constructive criticism is always welcome.
No, we really do like constructive criticism, and I think it's changed our show quite a bit so far from things we've heard. Yeah. No, seriously, if you have any ideas in mind, or if you have any guests you would like to hear on the show, if we can get them on the show, I'll get them.
Sure. And, of course, we're always looking for musical suggestions.
Yeah, musical suggestions. Or if you want to record an audio segment and send it to us. Hint, 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 hint. Come on, man. Get up. Every computer now has a microphone on of some kind or another.
Yeah.
Say something and send it to us.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. You could even leave it in the comment section on the podcast webpage.
Yeah.
You can even upload audio there. Does anybody do it? No.
Of course not.
No. But anyway, thanks for putting up with us again this week. And we'll be back at you again next week around the same time.
Same time, same channel, same station, all that.
All that good stuff. So be in touch, be freaky, and take it easy. Until next time.
Bye.
Uncertain, and the end is always near. The ice age is coming.